RPS Best Ball Show. Yes, yes, yes. Holden hanging out with the boys this week. We got Simon Pumacom, notorious Simon, get us out of here. We got Bobby Gomes in the green hoodie, the mayor of the North End of Boston. We got Snyder, aka Schneider. You do know, like Uncle T calls you Schneider. You know that, right?
Yeah, it's all good.
Well, no, he always asks me. He's like, "What do you say?" I call him Schneider because he do. He does. He calls you Schneider. This is the
Yeah,
way that he pronounces it. I don't understand it, Snyder. I think it's very
some people do.
disrespectful.
Yeah, I mean, I've been called all sorts of things.
Snyder, I'm very disappointed. I was hoping you'd come back with fury and wrath, but you're not going to. You're just going to be the nice guy that continues to hit golf winners. Which, by the way, oh my goodness gracious, yeah, RPS premium stuff. If you haven't checked it out yet, the golf team has been on fire. The NFL team's about to get on fire. We're going to do the best ball today, but baseball, we still got half a season left in Major League Baseball, plus the playoffs. NASCAR on the bet side, we got Kegger. I mean, it's every single sport you want to play DFS, we got it here. Susie's on tennis, very successful Wimbledon as well. RPS Heater 25 gets you 25% off your first payment on monthly subscriptions. Okay, Simon, we get to do a show together. I'm looking forward to this. Lots going on every week. Things seem to be changing as far as strategery and such. And I wonder what's going on at the running back position lately. I feel like that's a big story right now.
Well, the running back position started off as the. Oh, let me unmute.
Simon,
the
you're
running
on
back. Yeah, I got it. Running back position started off.
Time out. Did the engineer have himself on mute? Did you
Hey,
have
man.
yourself on mute?
I'm trying to run people's lower thirds while I'm talking, so yeah, I was on mute.
All right, all right. Anyways, running back, Simon. That's what we were talking about. There's a little shift
Yes.
here at ADP this week, right?
Yeah, it started off where people were drafting running back heavy at the start of the drafting back in May. There was a few articles that went out about something called anti-fragile running back strategy, where people were drafting 3 or 4 running backs right off the top of the draft and then not worrying about them again for the rest of the draft and focusing on hammering wide receivers. But one thing that was happening was all the stud wide receivers were still available in the first few rounds. So people started going 0 RB, where they were drafting the wide receivers at the top of the drafts and continuing to hammer wide receivers and then drafting cheaper running backs in the mid rounds and the later rounds. And people caught on to how those lineups were looking compared to the anti-fragile lineups, and they started to shift more towards 0 RB. So now anti-fragile lineups are starting to look better than 0 RB lineups. So it's kind of all over the place where the trends are shifting and where the majority of people are strategies they're taking.
Bobby, you've been busy in this all off season. What are you noticing right now?
Yeah, so it's still the same issues, regardless if people are kind of switching back to anti-fragile, are still there with running backs. Like it's Christian McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook, and then after that, it's pretty obscure. So for me, like taking advantage of that and staying with 0 RB, I've always been a 0 RB guy in best ball, but I still try to build high floor lineups. And I think a lot of the reason people are trying to be anti-fragile is because they want to build high floor lineups to get the way terms are structured. You play 12 mans. So to beat a 12 man in DFS, you're building like a cash game build. But the cash game build of right now, or the projections we have right now, obviously isn't going to be the same in week 13, right? So like I'm trying to build my team to where like people never want to talk about it, but if a running back goes down, like a guy like Madison, Dalvin Cook, very, very chalky guy right now. A lot of people want to play him. He's the number 2 overall back. He steps right into a role. If you think about DFS wise, he's going to be the chalk that week. Well, in this, Madison is going to be lower owned. He's going to be like a under 10% guy. So I'm trying to be 2x the field or 3x the field in my 150 on Madison now to get ahead later on. So my teams I like drafting 0 RB because I take a lot of high volume wide receivers and then hope that something maybe goes awry to where a guy, I don't want to say injury, but maybe things switch up in the backfield. So that's I'm still bullish on 0 RB. I think it's the way to go.
So Schneider, we're actually going to have a draft here. Simon, when are we going to start rolling that draft? About 15, 20 minutes from now?
About 15
Everybody
minutes,
can hop on? Okay, cool. Schneider, so What trends are you noticing right now, and what kind of game plan are you having when you're going into your drafts this week?
Yeah, I've been doing a majority of those $5 drafts on Underdog lately. That it's called the Puppy, I think, and it's already about 75% full. So I've been trying to get as many as I can into that because I've been noticing quite a few different things going on there, and I'm not really going in with like one set strategy, as I've seen many things happen in those since it's a lower buy-in and it's not as many skilled people in there. So whatever value comes to me in those, I've just been attacking that, and whether it's going zero RB, or if everybody is doing that and there's a lot of running back depth there, I'm going to suck up that. And that's just, I really don't go in with like a set strategy. I just try and let the draft come to me and take what I feel is the best value and go about that way. And if I got a guy ranked a couple tiers ahead of where I'm going, I like to grab those guys early, and that's about it.
Simon, how are you reacting to the little shift in draft strategy over the last couple of weeks? What's the game plan you have now?
I just take the same approach that Snyder does. I don't go into any draft with a specific approach in mind. I just kind of let the draft come to me. If it seems like people are drafting more running backs in the beginning, then I go the opposite and just go with wide receivers, or basically I take my favorite players off the board and kind of go from there. If at the end of the first round is where my favorite spot is to draft, in like the 8 to 12 spot, I'd say. If there are guys like Tyreek, Stephon Diggs, Austin Eckler, and DeAndre Hopkins, those are the guys that I'm hammering in those first 2 rounds if I can get towards the back end of the drafts.
Who are you targeting right now? Let's talk about this. This will be fun. So the guys that you're targeting in the early rounds, the mid rounds, the late rounds, etc. Simon, let's start with you here. Who are you gunning for? For the most part, it looks like, let's start with wide receiver.
Stephon Diggs is the one that I'm trying to grab in rounds 1 and 2. He was going about mid-second when we first started doing this back in May, and now he's kind of gotten to the point now where he is starting to go towards the end of the first round. He's going more in the like 9-10 spot, it seems. It's getting tougher and tougher to grab him. I probably have about 25% exposure overall after about 100 drafts to Diggs. But it's been getting harder and harder to get him, so that I can tell my exposure is going lower as I enter more of these contests.
What about you, Bobby Gomes? Let's look at some early round guys, some middle round guys, and a late round stab.
Yeah, for me up top, it's Eckler. Me and Simon kind of hit on it last week. I think he's a very good value. I think he could probably be a top 5 player overall when it's all said and done at the running back position up top. Deontay Johnson's a guy who was last year's darling for everyone, and this year he's kind of fallen behind. And I just think the Steelers, just because people think they drafted a running back in the first round, their passing game is still, I think, going to be the way they kind of run the football. So Deontay Johnson, I think, takes a step forward. He could be a top 10 running back in this league next year. And late round running backs, Damian Harris for the Patriots, I love. James Robinson, like everyone's talking about Travis Etienne, and he makes a ton of sense, right? Etienne does. He has the connection with Lawrence and all this other stuff. But in football, like, it doesn't just work like that. Like, you don't come in and you're automatically the number 1 guy. There's like a structure within that. And Robinson's way too cheap in terms of his ADP right now and value for the workload he should see, because I still think he remains the starter.
Schneider, I hear you're pretty high on Zeke this year. Would that be a fact?
Yeah, I like Zeke starting off here. If I can get him in the mid first round, I'm pretty happy. I think he's got the upside to even be like RB1 this year. I mean, he entered last season out of shape. I mean, he had career lows in rush yards and yards per carry. I've seen some like content he's putting out and some pictures of him. I mean, it looks like he's really busting his ass this offseason. He looks to be in top level shape. I mean, he's got the abs back, and we've seen what he does with like a healthy Dak and a good explosive Dallas offense. And I think the Cowboys actually added some depth on their defense. And I think their defense is going to be much better this year. And that'll help him towards the end of the games where they were usually just airing it out in the fourth quarter because they were down so much. I think they're going to be in these games, and they might even be leading these games, which is going to allow him to have those late fourth quarter carries. And so that's where I'm at with Zeke. Another guy I'm high on is Mark Andrews. He enters this year on a contract year, and he's kind of dropping in drafts I've been seeing lately. He led the team in receptions last year, but he did average career low in yards per catch, only 12 yards. He battled some injuries last year. He even found himself on the COVID list. I really look for him to bounce back here with a strong contract year. Harbaugh's even said he's been talking him up in camp, saying this is the best he's looked yet. And he's running his routes really sharp, looking explosive in camp. So I think he's going to return to what he was in the 2019 season when he had a pretty good season for his draft. You want another guy?
Hey, I'm all here for it, Schneider. Let's go.
Another guy would be like Jamar Chase. He's going like right around that round 4, round 5 range, I believe. I think he's absolutely the best raw talent I've seen come out of college since Julio Jones. And we saw what his teammate Justin Jefferson did last year with the Vikings. And he was like the second tier on that LSU team with Chase there. Chase had over 1,700 yards receiving and 20 touchdowns the last time he was catching balls from Burrow. And I think the Bengals are going to be down a lot this year. They're going to be chucking all year. I look for Chase to have even a better year than Jefferson had last year.
All right, want to remind everybody that we've got some great premium content at Run Pure Sports. RPS Heater 25, RPS Heater 25, 25% off your first payment, your monthly plan with the NFL coming up. We're going to have all our NFL content. There are so many live shows, podcasts, articles, just Discord. The Discord is worth the subscription alone. We got that for NFL. We still got a half a season of baseball. And then if there's any NBA finals games that are left when you're watching this, our Showdown team has been the best in the DFS business. So RPS Heater 25. All right, so let's go to the other side of things here, Simon. What about the guys that you're just staying away from? Because it looks like your number one guy is a guy that I'm staying away from too, DJ Moore.
Yeah. First, the mid and later range guys that I was taking are Laviska Shenault. I think he's going to have a great season. I think he's actually going to out produce DJ Shark this year. And I think Jalen Reagor is going a little bit overlooked. He's going probably in the 10th, 11th, 12th rounds, around that range. But he's, with Devonta Smith coming to the Eagles, everybody's jumping on the Devonta Smith bandwagon and forgetting about Reagor, who was a first-round pick last year. And he got off to a slow start last year because he was hurt right off the bat. Obviously, with COVID last year, a lot of these rookies didn't get a lot of time in training camp, but Reagor had even less time because he was hurt. And then early in the season, he got hurt again. And so basically, he got off to a really slow start. And I think this year, now that he has more time in training camp and more time to practice with the new quarterback, I think he's gonna have a chance to get off to a stronger start this year. The guys that I am avoiding this year, DJ Moore, I just think the guy hasn't really broken out. I know a lot of fantasy analysts love that guy, but I'm just not buying it. He seems like one of those receivers who they fall in love with, and every year you hear hype about him, and then he never lives up to expectations. I kind of think, too, with Sam Darnold coming to the team and reuniting with Robbie Anderson. Robbie Anderson, I think, outperformed DJ Moore last year, and now he's got his old quarterback back. So I think there's going to be a chemistry there between those two, and I think Robbie Anderson, who goes at a later ADP, will remain the top guy to target on that passing game. And then I think Hockenson is another guy that I'm avoiding. I don't like drafting him when I have guys like Dallas Goedert, Logan Thomas, and Tyler Higbee going a few rounds later than him. So I'm avoiding him, and just basically want to either hit Kelsey, Pitts, or go for one of those Logan Thomas, Dallas Goedert Tyler Higbee types in those later rounds.
So, since I rudely interrupted you, Simon, I apologize for that. Since I rudely interrupted you, and now you've finished your great players that you really want, can you go through everybody that you don't want?
Oh, yeah, I just did. The DJ Moore, Darren Waller, and did I say that?
Oh, you wanted all those guys.
No, I'm avoiding them. No, I'm avoiding those guys.
All right, you do not want
Waller,
DJ Moore.
Yeah, no, not on DJ Moore. Darren Waller, I don't like drafting him in the second round. I like Darren Waller as a player, but I think drafting him in the second round is way too expensive for a tight end on the Raiders, especially when you got guys like I was talking about, like Thomas, Higbee, and Goddard that you can get in the more towards the 10th round, or even later than that. We got guys like Hunter Henry, Jonnu Smith, guys like that are just like floating around in like the 15th, 16th round still. So there's a lot of options at tight end if you just hold off on it. I don't think it's worth spending a second round pick on a guy like Waller. Even though I like Waller, I just don't want to spend a second round pick on him.
Simon, how much Kelsey do you have? Do you have any Kelsey?
I do have Kelsey. If I get in the 5 or 6 spot in drafting order, I'll generally take him. I'm taking him over some of these running backs
Zeke Barkley.
Yeah, Zeke Barkley. I'll take my chances on Kelsey over those guys.
All right, Bobby Gomes, why do you hate Aaron Jones so much this year?
Yeah, I've never been on the Aaron Jones train. Like he's not a guy I like to target. Obviously, people probably think he's going to see a ton of usage with Jamal Williams out of the picture. And if Aaron Rodgers does stay in Green Bay, which it looks, I don't know, that's kind of the angle like me and Simon were kind of talking on earlier. I just don't know if I love Aaron Jones. I think A.J. Dillon's would be someone I'm pretty interested in as like if I'm playing zero RB, someone to go to.
Fade a whole bunch of chalk running backs.
Fading the chalk running backs?
Yeah, a couple other guys. Who else you fading?
Oh, yeah. So, like, that's pretty much it. Like, I talk about Henry, Aaron Jones, Saquon going later. Like, these are guys that if people are going to revert and start to go anti-fragile again, like, I'm just going to stay the way I'm playing and playing more high-volume wide receivers and trying to take their backups.
Oh, I like it. Snyder, you're not on Barkley either. And why aren't you on Gibson?
I don't like Gibson that much this year. He ended that last season with that toe injury. They say it shouldn't affect him this year, but I just worry about him getting nicked up again. He's got a lot of competition this year. He's got Fitzmagic in there. Fitzmagic just loves to chuck the ball around the field. They got McLaurin. They got Samuel this year. They got Humphreys. They got Logan Thomas. And they still got J.D. McKissick there. I mean, he's still going to see some command in the passing down work. So I'm just avoiding Gibson at that high where he's going. Saquon's going too high. I'd rather have like Kelsey right there or even Hill. He's coming up. It doesn't sound like he's going to be 100% healthy for the start of the season. He's coming off that torn ACL and meniscus last year. And I also don't even trust this coaching staff either. They got Jason Garrett there, and their win total is only set at 7. So I think they're going to be pretty bad again this year. And I'm going to look to avoid another one of those Panther receivers. That Anderson only caught 3 touchdowns last year, and he also only had 3 games with 100 yards or more. And he's going I think he's going right around like 60 to 65 ADP right now. He's got Sam Darnold throwing him the ball this year. I don't think that's much of an upgrade, if any. And he's going to have to deal with DJ Moore and a healthy Christian McCaffrey this year. And the Panthers also selected Terrence Marshall at LSU in the draft this year. So I'll be avoiding him as well.
Simon, let's go to stacks, buddy. Cheap, mid-priced, expensive packs. And let's start with the Packers. I should say stacks. Let's start with the Packers, though. What's your exposure to them right now?
Right now, I don't really have much exposure at all. I've been looking for other value, but I'm going to start drafting Packers in stacks with Aaron Rodgers, just because the narrative right now is that Aaron Rodgers is likely to, not play this year or go to a different team. So I think it's really taken a hit on the value of Devontae Adams, who's you can get towards the round 2, round 3 turn, and Aaron Jones, who you can get in that same general area. These are guys that were going in round 1 before the Rodgers controversy started. So I think you can get really cheap stacks with the Packers, with Aaron Rodgers going around round 10 too. So if you get Adams, Jones, and then Rodgers in round 10, and then Rodgers ends up staying with the Packers, then you're in really good shape. And if you think that Rodgers is going to Denver, you can still draft Rodgers with the Packers stack, who are already at good value. There's not a ton of downside getting those two in round 2. But then you can also add Cortland Sutton or Jerry Jeudy somewhere in the, towards the 10th round, who also have great value. So you're not really like losing much by drafting those guys to kind of hedge the Packers bet. And other teams I'm drafting are the Colts. They have Carson Wentz reuniting with Frank Reich, and those two had a great history together in Philly. They went to the Super Bowl together. Carson was having an MVP year that season up until he got injured right before the playoffs, and those two are reunited. I think Carson Wentz is going to be a lot more comfortable playing with him again, and they have a better offensive line. The Eagles were banged up last year, and Wentz was just getting destroyed. So I think he's going to be a lot more comfortable in that offense playing for that team, and they got some decent weapons. You can get guys like Paris Campbell and what's his face? Bobby, who's the dude that's going in the 10th? The
Michael
receiver?
Pittman?
Yeah, Michael Pittman. Completely brain fart there. You can get both those guys pretty cheap. So, if you get those guys after the 10th round, and then you get Carson Wentz too in probably like the 15th round. So you can get a nice little stack there. And if you end up with Jonathan Taylor, maybe at the end of the first round, early second round, you can add him into that stack too. Another guy in that stack you can get is Mo Alley Cox, who's you can pretty much get him close to the 18th round, so you can get a really nice Colt stack there for cheap. And then the Jet stack narrative right now, everybody's super down on the quarterback, but they like to make fun of the Jets for the draft decision that they made, choosing him over Justin Fields. But they chose him for a reason. The guy's shown that he has a cannon. He can definitely throw the ball. And I think with the guys that they brought in for the coaching, Saleh and LaFleur over from San Francisco, they're going to have a much better looking offense probably. And they have brought in some weapons for him. They brought in Corey Davis, and they brought in they drafted Elijah Moore in the draft. So they got some good weapons there now, and I think you can get really cheap Jet stacks. And I think there's upside to them if you're looking to spend some of those late double-digit round picks on a stack. I think the Jets are a good one to target.
All right, Bobby, let's get to you here as we talk about stacks. What do you like about Kyler and that Cardinals team?
Yeah, before I hit on the Cardinals, I think Simon hit on like leveraging ambiguous scenarios like Rodgers, the value of Green Bay, and then hitting on Sutton if he goes there is such a great move in best ball. I really like that call. For the Cardinals, I think Kyler's going to be the MVP this season. I like what they've done around him. They got a new center. They gave him weapons with A.J. Green, Rondale Moore. I love Hopkins. I love that stack. Christian Kirk, he's a guy late you can get as well. Dan Arnold, they didn't really use the tight end last year, but I don't know. I just like the Cardinals in general. Same thing for the Chargers. I like Eckler. I like Keenan. Mike Williams is coming in as a value, and he's supposed to be used in the same – well, he's being used right now in Joe Lombardi's offense as in the same position as Michael Thomas. So there's definitely a lot of value there if you think that he can even come close to that kind of production. In the Ram stack, like Akers is another one of those high-end running backs. Everyone's going to pound. Everyone loves Akers. He's a great running back. He is, but we know the volatility in that offense at the running back position. Darrell Henderson did phenomenal last year as a starting running back. Those receivers, I like Stafford. I'm bullish on Stafford. I'm bullish on the passing game. I think he's going to do well in LA. So those are kind of my stacks. The other thing I'd like caution people in best ball is don't overstack. I feel like a lot of people are overstacking, and while it's important to stack, I think you should definitely stack. I don't think that you need to necessarily force stacks and do stuff that makes you that sacrifices your floor if just to fit a stack. That would be my opinion.
Okay, thanks, Bobby. Let's move on to Snyder here. And what do you think about Lamar's team? Who are you pairing Lamar up with in your stacks to target?
Yeah, I really like Lamar this year. I mean, he's been putting in the work this offseason. Like this whole year, I think he's going to really improve his passing this year. He's entering this contract year for him as well. I think we see like MVP Lamar come back out this year. I mean, he's got the highest floor and ceiling of any player in the league. I mean, he's coming off back-to-back 1,000-yard rushing seasons. The touchdown ceiling is out of this world, and I like Andrews with him. He's going like in that 5th, 6th round, and I really like the rookie they got out of Minnesota, Rashad Bateman. He's going to be going in that 10, 11 round range, I think. And I look for him to pass up Hollywood Brown pretty easily. I mean, Brown had a horrible time catching the ball last year. He couldn't separate himself, and he couldn't stay healthy also. I mean, Bateman, he's shown that he's got the ability to go up and make contested catches. He can go to like poorly thrown balls, like which Lamar sometimes throws some bad passes, and Bateman's shown the ability to react to that really well in the college level. And he's got some speed as well. I also like that Bengals stack, but it's pretty dependent. I like Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. T. Higgins just came into camp just jacked. I guess he's gained like 20 pounds of muscle and increased the speed even. He's even faster now, they're saying. So and then both of those receivers are going like right around that 4 or 5 range. So if I can get both of those guys, I'm looking to get Burrow with him. Burrow's going right around that 9-10 range, it looks like. So I might even be willing to reach like round 8 for Burrow if I can get those two to complete that stack, because I think that Bengals offense is going to be explosive this year. I mean, their defense is definitely going to put them behind the 8 ball. Like a higher risk stack I like is the Saints. I like Michael Thomas to have a big bounce back year this year. He's going way down from where he's used to being going. He's going like in that 2-3 range. And I think everybody's been calling him slant boy and stuff. I think he's going to come out and have a resurgence this year. I mean, Jameis, if he starts, it's all dependent on Jameis. But if he starts, he's going to be able to push the ball down the field more than Breeze. I mean, Breeze wasn't able to throw the ball 10 yards towards the end of his career.
Yep.
Jameis, he loves to air it out. And I think Thomas is going to add in that vertical threat that many people haven't seen yet. And the tight end, they got Troutman. He's going to be a starting tight end this year. He's going late, like right around that 11th round. I like throwing him in there if it's a cheap tight end as well, because Jameis did target his tight ends pretty heavily in Tampa Bay. I think they accounted for like 700-800 yards that last year he was there.
Schneider, Jameis Winston sucks. Yeah. He will not.
Chuck.
All right, here's the deal. He will not be the quarterback of the Saints for more than 8 games. Under 8.5 games, Jameis Winston. Do you want to invest in one of the worst decision makers, not in the history of football, but possibly in the history of the world?
Hey, he did get LASIK eye surgery, didn't he?
Exactly,
I mean, he might be able to see his guys now.
So
he
now
couldn't even see what team he was throwing it to.
Okay.
Yeah.
LASIK
That's going to make a huge difference, I think.
Yeah, that doesn't fix being a dumbass. That fixes your eyes.
What if there was a different quarterback that ended up the quarterback of the Saints, not Taysom?
Me too. Yeah, me too.
I mean, you're investing like a 15th round draft pick in Jameis right now. It's pretty cheap. I mean, it's high upside. I mean, if he pops off and goes for like 5,000 to 6,000 yards passing in the dome here and throws 35 touchdowns.
5,000 to 6,000 yards passing for Jameis Winston?
He threw for like 5,300 yards that last year in Tampa, didn't he?
This is insane.
What did he throw for that last year in Tampa?
Are we talking about what? He's not going to do that in New Orleans.
Remind Logan what happens when the golf guys make fun of your golf winners.
Yeah.
Do they pay off?
It's not good for you.
I think Taysom's the guy. I think Taysom's the guy in New Orleans.
It's
I mean,
not
I think
good
Sean
for
Payton
you.
loves Taysom. I just don't know if Taysom's an NFL quarterback. I mean,
What
he's
if it was?
a great
What if it
gadget
was?
man.
What if it was someone else, not Taysom or Jameis? What if Rodgers ended up in New Orleans? Would
I
that
think
be
Roger. I mean, yeah, but I think Rodgers is going to Denver.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. But like, there's if he ever did, Kamara and Michael Thomas. Not that I think he will. I'm just saying, like,
we're still 2 weeks out of camp, so yeah.
Yeah, I'm like that. They need a quarterback, right? Like although it's highly unlikely. It's interesting to think how he'd play if he had Kamara and Michael Thomas around him. Yeah. I think it's Taysom and New Orleans. I think Holden's right on the under, dude.
I mean, it'll be interesting. I mean, what if Jameis actually has that LASIK and he can actually see which guys he's throwing to rather than just throwing jump balls?
Again,
I got LASIK. It's going to help.
I do not think that is going to change his decision making. I don't.
I think the coaching will change his decision making. He's on much better coached staff right now, and he's taking it seriously. You can tell in his actions he's taken in the preseason that he's going into this all out. He wants it, man.
We've got 2 Jameis Winston backers on this show. 2. Where are you taking him, Simon?
What do you mean, where am I taking him?
Where are you taking Jameis Winston? Are you just snatching him up in the 16th round?
He's typically going. You can typically get him in probably about the 16th to 18th round. Wouldn't you say, Snyder? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he's a cheap addition. If you and the beauty of it is, if you're building a Saints stack and you're doing it with Jameis in mind, if someone snipes Jameis from you, you got Taysom as backup there, or if you're vice versa, if you're going for Taysom and he gets sniped, sometimes you'll have Jameis there for you. And either one could be like 50-50. You know, who knows how it's going to go. I tend to believe Jameis is going to be the quarterback, and I think he's going to have a bounce back season.
The floors of Kamara and Thomas become much lower with Taysom, right? Though.
Yeah. Yep.
No doubt. You ready to hop in a draft there, Simon? What do you got going on?
Yeah.
Let's pull that sucker up. Bobby Gomez, what's going on in Boston, dude?
Nothing. I got a softball game at 6:30, and so we're cutting this close.
I'm getting ready. Oh, is this like a beer league or is it serious?
It's kind of beer league serious, you know.
Is it just a North End thing or a Boston thing or what?
North End thing, yeah.
Oh boy, it's all the Italians playing softball. Where do you guys play?
Down the park. You know, you're familiar with the park, right?
Yeah.
North End Park.
Yeah. Cool. Schneider, where do you live?
Lincoln, Nebraska.
Lincoln,
middle of nowhere. Yeah, right in the middle of nowhere.
I almost went to college there. I'm glad I didn't, but I almost did.
It's fun party town.
It's between Kansas, Missouri, and Nebraska, and Southern Illinois University.
I mean, back in your day, we were probably actually good at college football, too.
Back in my day, you guys would come eat our Pepperidge Farm and beat our football team. Yeah, eat all our Pepperidge Farm. That's what the
yeah, we suck now, though.
Yeah. Where'd you go to college, Holden?
Kansas.
Nice.
Yeah, they had a good broadcasting school, and it was a lot of fun. I loved going to Kansas, man. You wouldn't have thought, but when I was living in Chicago, I went to high school in Chicago, so we went. All the dumb people went to Kansas, and all the smart people went to like Ivy League schools. It's close enough to Chicago. We'd get home for $100 round trip, but it was far away enough to where they couldn't drive to come get us. What's up, Simon?
So we're waiting for about 5 more people to join the draft, so we can talk a little strategy if we want to at the top here before we go in.
I would love to hear some strategy, please. Can I ask you just a newbie's? I'm not a newbie. I played best ball a lot, but what is the quarterback strategy session here? That's what I would like to get into today. Quarterback. When to draft a quarterback?
Yeah. Quarterback. I'm typically aiming for 5th, 6th round. I'm aiming for getting Josh Allen or Kyler Murray, depending on who I draft at the top of the draft. If I'm able to get Stephon Diggs or Hopkins, who are the main wide receivers who I'm targeting at the top of the draft, then I'll try and pair them with Josh Allen or Kyler Murray in the 5th or 6th round. I don't want to reach too much for a quarterback in those rounds. Because if I miss him, I can just go for Jalen Hurts a few rounds later, or Joe Burrow. I'm also stacking a lot of Bengals like Snyder is. I'm taking Jamar Chase. He's probably one of my highest exposure wide receivers. I'm grabbing him in the 4th anytime I can when it's not too much of a reach. And I also love T. Higgins, but lately his value is creeped up, so he's really hard to get now. But I was getting him in just about every draft in the beginning. Same with Laviska Shenault. Chenault's the same type. He was going probably in the 9th or 10th round in the beginning of this, and now you're lucky if you can get him in the 8th, pretty much. So a lot of these guys have had a lot of move higher, and it's getting a lot more difficult to get the guys that I want. If you go to DraftKings, if you're drafting on DraftKings, I've noticed it's a lot easier to get those players. But with Underdog, it seems to be a lot of industry people in it, and it's getting hyped through the roof from industry people, which makes a lot more sense to get your DraftKings drafts started now if you haven't started and if you want to face a easier competition.
Snyder, I know you're going after Lamar, so what's your quarterback strategy in a lot of drafts?
Yeah, if I can get Lamar like right around that 4 or 5 range, I'm taking him. Otherwise, I'm kind of looking to wait a little bit. I mean, I like the upside guys. I like Burrow. I like Fitzpatrick. I like Wentz. Some of those guys you can get later in the draft with like big ceilings and stuff, where you can catch their spike weeks and such. I don't mind Josh Allen for sure. I mean, I'm not drafting any Mahomes. Basically, and just Dak Prescott. I don't really get him. I'm interested in in Aaron Rodgers there. He's going pretty late. I mean, if he plays, I think the upside for him is great. I'm interested to see what Trevor Lawrence does. They got a lot of playmakers there, and Laviska Shenault, I was high on him early. He's starting to raise up the ADPs though as the months go on, and that's about it.
Bobby, are you all in on Kyler?
Just prioritizing rushing equity and being able to stack them, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Or even though I said I don't really prioritize the stacks, so Kyler, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. Even the issue with Lamar is I don't think you can really double stack Lamar. If you think about his yardage prop every week, it's 180 yards. So to hit the bonus with 2 guys, it's kind of difficult week in, week out. I'd rather just stack one, but I think you can stack more with Allen and Kyler, and they're week to week cash game QBs in DFS, right? So there's a reason for that, and we're trying to win 12 mans.
All right, very good. I like it. What do you got there, Simon? How much time till we're on the clock, dude?
Should be any minute. We got 2 more. I switched into the mini competition, which is the puppy this year, and it is filling a lot faster. Yeah, puppy's filling a lot faster than the millie contest, and now it's full. So we are gonna find out where our draft position is, and it looks like we're number 4. So
all right, let's talk strategy. How many teams are in this again?
12.
12 teams, and the scoring?
It's a half-point PPR. Same as FanDuel, pretty much.
Okay. So what's the strategy then, Simon? Picking from the 4.
I hate the 4 spot. I'm not going to lie. I fucking hate it.
Hey.
And I don't know. I'm thinking Kelsey from the 4 spot, because I don't trust any of these running backs really this year. I'm not a fan of running backs in the first round this year, unless it's Eckler towards the end of the first round, or Cook and McCaffrey if I can get in the 1 or 2 spot. But after that, it's kind of I'm not in love with any of them.
What do you think, Bobby Gomes? You got any take on what you would be doing from the 4 hole?
I'm just trying to fill out. I'm trying to fill up my exposures. So yeah, I don't mind taking Kelsey. I understand he makes sense. Kelsey or Tyreek.
Schneider, 4 spot.
I don't mind Kelsey there for sure. Should have a very high floor. He's always produced every year. I'm kind of high on Zeke though, but I'm just kind of buying into the narrative of what he's been doing this offseason.
How big of a bump do you take him down from full to half point PPR?
On Zeke, I don't think I move him much at all for that for Zeke. I mean, he's got a high carries and stuff. He doesn't really catch too many passes, so
we took Kelsey there.
Kelsey is the choice.
Yeah. I mean, I don't hate going with Kamara or Barkley or Zeke, but I think just for consistency and to increase the exposure on Kelsey, kind of like Bobby was saying, like I'll go Kelsey there.
All right, what are you looking at with the next pick, Simon?
Depends on who gets to us. It's we got to kind of see how this draft is going, what kind of players people are taking. Right now, you can see Barkley is still on there. He just got taken at the 8th pick. And this is where I would normally be targeting Diggs, since Tyreek is off the board already. Someone just took Eckler. Eckler's going earlier and earlier. He was going in the mid-second round in the beginning.
Bobby loves Eckler. Bobby, you love that.
Same here. Yeah, Bobby and me.
Yeah, so I didn't want to say take Eckler at 4 because it's half point PPR, but on DK, I don't mind taking Eckler at 4.
Yeah,
I've been taking Eckler as high as I can take Eckler. I've taken Eckler pretty high. So I don't know. It's interesting. Like we just think he's going to grade out higher than what he is. It's in half point PPR. It's kind of different, but we'll see. I still think he's a good play.
Schneider, how much exposure to Kelsey do you have in that first round? And then if you have any, where'd you go next?
I have a little bit, not much of Kelsey so far. I mean, I'd be looking at some receivers here, I think, going forward. I noticed a bunch of running backs have been going off the board, filling on some receivers, I think.
What are we looking at, Simon?
Hopkins just got taken at the 3rd pick of the 2nd round. All the guys that I've been targeting in the first 2 rounds when I get in those last spots are gone. Now I'm looking to pick up probably a receiver, depending on. I might go with I might lean Mixon or Edwards-Helaire. Like if we wanted to stack, we could go Edwards-Helaire, but I'm not really interested in trying to.
What'd you do, Bobby? You got any thoughts there?
I actually would probably consider some CEH at 4. I mean, what's not 4? Sorry, what is the pick we're going to be at next going around?
It would be the 9th pick of the 2nd round.
9th pick of the 2nd round. Yeah, I don't mind trying to make the stack, but I know Simon is worried about exposures and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't mind mixing. I like Justin Jefferson too. I think he's a good play. AJ,
you're okay on Edwards-Helaire this year? Like, what are your projections for him?
I think he grades out well, right? Like they have some offensive line help. They got rid of Darrell Williams, Jared McKinnon. He's back there, but I don't know. I like CEH. I like the Chiefs. Like they're going to score a ton of points. Like not stacking them, I think is like it's never a bad idea to stack the Chiefs. So I don't mind CEH. I like what they've done on the O-line.
We went with Jefferson there.
Yeah, I like Jefferson too.
Yeah.
Talk about that, Schneider. Let's talk about Jefferson again. Give me the lowdown.
Yeah, Jefferson exploded towards the mid to late season last year. I expect the same from him. I mean, Thielen really didn't do much last year. I think it's just going to be totally Jefferson and Cook basically controlling this whole offense. So I definitely like the value we got there. We were looking at Mixon a little bit too, but he went right before us. And I was heavy on Mixon last year, but he got hurt and really hurt me.
He hurt you? Bobby, I know you love Justin Jefferson.
I do. Yeah. So last year I had my best team had Justin Jefferson on it. He went off. I think he's going to really going into the second year. I think he's really going to take a step forward. So I like him. And Simon, with this next pick coming up, would you consider McLaurin at all?
Yep. McLaurin is
McLaurin.
He's one of the guys that I'm trying to load up on this year. I do like AJ Brown. I wouldn't hate going for the Titans stack either if I can get a double stack with him and Julio, because I think Julio potentially could fall to us in the fourth. And I like, I do have a lot of AJ Brown exposure this year. I also have a lot of McLaurin exposure. So I think maybe for the sake of this, if we're able to get AJ Brown, if Brown's off the board, yeah, well, there we go. Brown is still available. I'm gonna go with Brown on this one. Although I do like McLaurin. I'm trying to get as much cheap Brown as I can. Just because if things don't break the way everyone's expecting it to, like AJ Brown was going close to the top of the second early on, and when Julio got traded to the Titans, like everybody turned on AJ Brown, and now he's going early to mid third. So I think there's value there. I think people are looking at doomsday scenarios for AJ Brown. All his targets are going to be gone and everything like that. I don't like that they lost their OC to Atlanta. So that kind of creates some uncertainty there. But I think if we can get the double stack with AJ and Julio and then stack them with Tannehill later on, I'd like to do that.
Bobby, where do you stand on AJ and Julio? Who's first?
Yeah, so I prefer AJ, but I like Julio as well. And Tannehill, like the stack, Tannehill has rushing equity. He's someone that you could definitely consider as like a high floor quarterback. So I don't mind it at all. And then it's leverage off of Henry. Like everyone wants to play Henry. Henry's got a lot of tread in those tires, and the passing game's leverage off of Henry. So I don't mind the AJ Brown, Julio stack, Tannehill. I don't mind the Tennessee Titans at all.
Okay, what about you, Mr. Schneider?
Yeah, I don't mind that Tennessee. I don't think Julio will be 100% healthy because he's been hampered by some injuries here of the last few years, and he's getting older. So I think they're gonna kind of work Julio in like here and there to try and keep him healthy the whole year. So I think Julio will have some spike weeks, and AJ Brown will carry the majority of the load. So I like that combo.
So typical Julio Jones then. Just blow up 2 weeks. Have like
be questionable with a leg injury for 13 of the 16 weeks, and still just play.
Extrapolating that over a course of a full season, it's not that easy. It might be more frustrating. Oh, it can't be on a week-to-week basis. Where are we, Simon?
We are on the third pick of the fourth round. Tyler Lockett just went off. Julio Jones is still on there. Patrick Mahomes is still in play. If Patrick Mahomes falls to me that late in the fourth, it's tempting to stack him with Kelsey. So we'll see how that plays out. But Patrick Mahomes and Julio Jones right now would be the guys that I hope fall to me. If both those guys are gone, then Jamar Chase would be my target.
Okay. How far away are we?
We are on the fifth pick, and we are the ninth pick. So we're a few away, 3 picks away.
Adios, Julio.
There goes Julio. So we lost our stacking potential there. Not a big deal. AJ Brown still had that value in the second round, so I'm not going to cry about it. Let's see if we can get Jamar Chase here, though. And if Chase is off the board, then T. Higgins is my easy backup choice there. Ideally, we'd be able to get Chase and then get T. Higgins on the way back. But like I was saying before, T. Higgins is going earlier and earlier, so it's hard to stack those two together.
Oh,
and there goes
Chase. You hate to see it.
Yep.
Now what do you got there, Mr. Simon?
Now we're looking at Higgins. And we
that
got
went
one
south
dude,
in a hurry.
Yeah. Oh, every strategy, it's like you just get sniped left and right. But all those dudes were. It's not really sniped because all those dudes were at after ADP that they got picked, but still sucks.
So T. Higgins.
T. Higgins is available, and we are taking him.
All right, very good. Any thoughts on what you want to do next? And I'll be back in like 2 minutes. I'm going to go get a drink of water.
No thoughts right now.
Okay, who should I expect to be on the roster when I come back, Simon?
Let's see.
You better have that person.
I got 3 wide receivers and 1
Will
tight end
Dissly?
right now.
Can you get me some Will Dissly?
I might actually
Will
target
Dissly.
a QB. Lamar Jackson would probably be my target because I don't have Hopkins to
Let's
stack
go.
with
Let's
Kyler
go.
Murray, so
Let's go.
I'm putting Jackson in the queue, which means he'll be taken on the next pick.
Yeah.
We can't double stack Lamar though.
No.
No
I
double
wouldn't.
stacking.
And that's what I like about taking Jackson is I don't have to worry about stacking anybody with him. You know, I don't really want any of the Ravens receivers except for Andrews, pretty much. I'll take Rashad what's the rookie?
I like Bateman. Yeah, he's going
Bateman,
like in
that's
that 10th, 11th around range.
Yeah, he's going relatively cheap, so I don't mind stacking him with Lamar.
I think he's got
especially,
some big play upside. Yeah.
I think he's a complete upside play too, because at that point I'll have all my stud wide receivers lined up. I'll have a couple running backs. So taking a shot on Bateman, if he doesn't do well, it's not a big deal because I got so much going for me in the wide receiver department at that point.
You were talking the Jets earlier. What do you think of that running back, Michael Carter? He's been used to like splitting the work at UNC.
Yeah,
I think he could be like a big upside guy there.
Yeah, I think he has upside. I've been passing on him though and going more with Ty Johnson in the later rounds because Ty Johnson showed some flashes last year. And there goes Lamar Jackson.
There goes Lamar.
What are we doing here, Simon?
Man,
we're struggling.
I don't really like going Murray this early when I don't have anyone to stack him with. So I might go Ayuk. What round are we in? We're in the 5th. You know what? I'm going to go with Sanders here because he's really cheap in the 5th. So that way we picked up a running back. I don't mind stacking him with Jalen Hurts either. Generally, I don't like stacking running backs with quarterbacks. It's kind of opposite correlation, but I think.
Is it negative correlation though?
Yeah, I think someone just did a study on it on Best Ball, and they had a negative correlation.
Oh, within this format.
Yeah, but I think though with a guy like Jalen Hurts and Miles Sanders, I think it might be a little different there.
Yeah, I think we got some good value there on Sanders. I mean, he's going like late, like high 30s in like the FFPC and stuff.
Yeah, ADP is 44.2, and we picked him at 52. So decent value. Like
not bad.
About as decent as you can get in the first 5 rounds or so. We are 13 picks away. This is where are we going in the 6th round? Jalen Hurts, I'll start looking at him in the 7th. Where are you guys typically drafting him, or if you're drafting him?
Yeah, right around that 7th, 8th range, I think, if I can get him there. If I have, something with him.
What did I miss, Simon?
We took Miles Sanders at 52, pick 52. His ADP is 44.2. I thought it was pretty good value on him. I don't mind taking Miles Sanders in the 5th round.
Bobby, what do you think? Sorry, Simon, go on.
Oh, yeah. No, I was going to say Jackson got taken before he got to us, so we were kind of shit out of luck there.
Bobby, what do you think about Sanders' workload this year?
It's interesting. Like I haven't done too much Sanders. I haven't been on the Eagles running backs. I don't have much Sanders exposure. I'm more Devonta Smith and Jalen Hurts. I've been taking them like back to back later, 7th, 8th, 9th. Maybe that's too early to take Jalen Hurts, but rushing equity is pretty good. So I don't know.
Snyder, any Miles Sanders this year?
I haven't really had the opportunity to get him, but I mean, Miles Sanders kind of like hit and miss. I just kind of worry at times about his workload, but he's definitely got the upside right there. He's showing flashes. I mean, he's got definitely the upside for the pick we got. I like the upside and the value we got him at.
Okay. Mr. Simon, what's the thought now?
Looking at wide receivers next, Devonta Smith. If we're going for the Eagles stack, I don't mind taking him here because that's right around his ADP. I prefer Debo and Gallup just because of the uncertainty with Smith, but I don't mind grabbing him here if we're going for an Eagles stack.
Okay.
And there's plenty of upside with him. So
You like that, Bobby?
Yeah, Devonta Smith's very good. A lot of rave reviews out of camp and stuff, so definitely like the Smith pick.
Okay.
All right, so there we go. We got Smith. So now we got Smith and Sanders, so we can really start honing in on Hurts on the next pick. Hurts' ADP is 85, and we just took Smith at 69, and so we'll be taking him a little bit early, probably about 10 picks early. But just to get our high upside quarterback, in addition to him being part of our stack, I don't mind taking.
I'm a huge fan of that. In my draft, I'll just take guys where I got them. I mean, if it's around too early, then it's around too early. I gotta have the guy. If I got a team that I'm building and it throws the rest of the draft off, great. Then that'll really help me. And then I'm in the driver's seat. What do you want to say, Bobby?
I like that strategy a lot. Like, I just take the guys I want. I don't really care about the ADP. Like, it's good for a baseline, but I want to be comfortable with the guys that I'm rostering. So I'm taking those guys. This is a situation that I've come into a couple times, is like Devonta Smith and then back-to-back Jalen Hurts. I like the way this has played out for us.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Hurts is going to take a step forward passing the ball this year as well. I mean, he's shown that he's got the ability to push the ball downfield and stuff. I really like him to take a second-year leap here.
The beauty of taking Kelsey in that first round, too, is like we don't have to worry about tight end. Like right around here, I'd be like, okay, I got to start thinking about tight end. Do I want to take Thomas or Goddard or whatever, or do I want to wait until like round 16 and go with Hunter Henry? Okay, so we just got Hurts.
Nice.
So we complete our stack there. Like I said, we don't have to worry about tight end. I might start looking at my second running back here because this is where we can usually get Harris. And, we got a lot of running backs still on the board. We got Kareem Hunt, we got Chase Edmonds, Mostert, and Harris.
I love Harris. Harris.
Yeah, same here.
Chase Edmonds, too. I've heard – oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Snyder.
Well, I just want to ask Snyder about the rookies real quick because we've been talking about we just had Smith. You're talking about rookies. Snyder, what are the highest exposure rookies you have right now? You got Smith, Harris.
Yeah, I kind of like Carter if he falls to me late enough. I think he's got the upside there in the Jets, and I think he's shown the ability to split the backfield as he did in college, and he shown some big upside. He's got the ability to catch the ball in the backfield, so I like that. I mean, Trey Sermon, I've heard some good things out of him out of camp so far, so I think Trey Sermon has the ability to even take over that role for that Shanahan offense.
All right, so we're 11 picks away right now. We still have Edmonds, Mostert, Harris on the board. Michael Carter I have in my rankings, my draft rankings after Harris, but not a huge fan of Carter. So if Edmonds, Mostert, Harris are off the board, I'm going to be looking at another wide receiver and maybe go for Moss in the next round.
Simon, who are the rookies you have the most exposure to right now?
Chase, for sure. I got a decent amount of exposure to the rookie quarterbacks. I've been taking them a lot because you can get them after the 10th round, and there's a lot of upside there. Trey Lance is probably my highest exposure out of those rookie quarterbacks. And then Trevor Lawrence. I like the offense there. Obviously, I'm taking a lot of Laviska Shenault, so I've been stacking him a lot with Lawrence and ETN. I haven't been taking a lot of Chark. I've been going more ETN and Shenault with that stack.
Simon, I forgot to tell everybody that Travis Kelce's name is really Travis Kelce. Yeah. You let everybody know that today. Did you see that?
Is it really?
I did.
No way.
His real name's Travis Kelce. He goes, people call me Kelce, but my real name is Kels. I just went with it. That was it. Even
That's
Patrick
like me.
Mahomes was like, what the fuck? Patrick Mahomes said it.
I thought you were talking about something else. So he actually came out and said his name is pronounced Kels.
Kels, and even Patrick Mahomes came out on Twitter. He's like, I had no idea.
That's funny.
Yeah.
My real name's Gomez. Everyone calls me Gomes.
You're Gomez.
To Rod Taylor a couple years ago too. Like everyone was calling him Tyrod Taylor. Okay, so we lost all the running backs we were targeting, so I'm going to shift over to wide receiver. Antonio Brown's still there. That's awesome.
You like Antonio Brown?
Yep, I like him a lot.
Okay.
He's one of my highest exposed wide receivers this year.
Really?
Just because he's so cheap. You can get him in the 8th. You were able to get him in the 10th round at the beginning of this. He's another one of those guys that I was hammering at the top, and now I've just gradually been getting less and less exposure to.
He's got that sneaky upside. He's got a good rapport with Brady, it seems like.
Yep. Brady loves... and there he goes. Fuck. All right.
You just hate to see it.
So I don't like anybody here. We don't have anyone to stack anything with. I might just grab Jarvis Landry for safety. You hate to see that. You know what? I
like James Robinson.
James Robinson. Yeah, where's he at? James Robinson. Let me draft it quick. Did I get him? I got him. Okay, good.
Bobby Gomes saving it with Robinson.
Yeah, I like James Robinson. I've been thinking more and more too along Bobby Gomes' line of thinking. Like with him being undervalued and everybody, he's going to have a big role in that offense even with ETN. ETN's going to have a big role in that offense, but I think they both will.
Aren't they talking about like splitting ETN out on like the slot and stuff and kind of playing them both at the same time?
Yes.
Yeah. So now we got to pay attention to our bye week since we have such a thin wide receiver core right now. I mean, running back core right now. We got a week 14 and a week 7. So I want to make sure that I have another decent one. Well, I'm going to draft. Did Moss already get off the board? Moss is already off the board. So yeah, this draft is a disaster.
Moss has been moving up a lot lately.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has. I might have to get going here, guys, in a minute. So
that's fine.
It was nice coming on and talking with you. I'll peace out now.
Bye, Bobby.
Thanks,
Later,
Bobby.
guys.
Have
a good rest of your draft.
Thanks, buddy. It's already a disaster.
What do you mean it's a disaster? He just
none of the players that I want are falling to me. That's like, but we're getting we're doing what we can with it. Right now, I'm going to go with Devontae Parker. I'm not in love with that pick. You know what? I'm gonna go with Parker.
Yeah.
I can't really see
he's at least got upside there.
Yeah, like we could go with one of these tight ends and just get a superpower tight end position, but we got Kelsey in there, so I'm not I don't want to use that capital there, especially with the wide receivers thinning out the way they are right now.
Any other running backs?
Running backs, Tony Pollard's the next guy that I have on there. I'm not drafting any Ronald Jones or Leonard Fournette this year. Okay. I like Gio later in the draft if I'm going to go that direction. Latavius Murray, he's another one that I will target, but he's 134 ADP, and we just drafted pick 100, so that was Devontae Parker. So we still got a couple rounds before we need to start worrying about him.
Yeah, he's got that injury upside. Like if Kamara goes down, Murray's shown the ability to shoulder quite a bit of the load.
You know what I like Snyder lately. If we're playing more of a not necessarily like zero RB, but zero RB and thinner at RB is Melvin Gordon, because there's talk that he might get cut So if he gets cut, then another team's going to pick him up. So he could end up the starting running back somewhere, and it could be a better situation for him all around. He won't have Javonte to compete with, and like if he ended up somewhere like Atlanta or Miami, something like that, where
I'm not so sure that happens though. I'm not so sure he gets released. No.
Well, what's the local media saying, lately. Holden?
Yeah, I just right now it's just he's part of the plan.
Yeah.
And then if anybody really does think that they're going to get Aaron Rodgers, then he's definitely staying, because they're not going to sit back there with a rookie, no Phillip Lindsay, no Melvin Gordon. We're just gonna roll, with inexperience behind it. That won't fly too.
Let's see. So right now I'm looking at my second quarterback, because this is the range where all the decent quarterbacks start coming off the board. I don't have any decent stacking options unless I want to wait and draft Tua. I don't mind drafting Trey Lance naked, just because there's still the running upside, and with those running quarterbacks, it doesn't hurt to draft them naked like it would a more of a pocket passer.
You're pretty high on Wentz, aren't you, too?
Yeah, I'm high on Wentz, but let's see if we have anyone to stack.
Oh, you know what?
Jalen Reagor, I got to get him queued up. I definitely want him.
Like, what's his name?
If Logan Thomas falls to me, I'm just gonna take him.
Yeah, honestly. He's got big upside. For where we are.
I can't not draft Logan Thomas.
Yeah, that Washington defense, they're gonna chuck the ball.
Yeah,
I think. Big T's like the biggest Carson Wentz fan I know, and if he can't do it here, he said he's gonna finally take the L.
Yeah, he couldn't be in a better situation for Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
What do you make of that backfield with Marlon Mack coming back? What are you doing there?
No, I'm not really paying attention to Marlon Mack. I think Taylor has pretty much secured it.
Okay.
I don't think he's coming off a torn Achilles, right? I don't think
that's usually a career ender too.
Yeah, nobody comes back from those.
Come on, I had a torn Achilles.
I think
except for Holden. Holden's the only one that's come back.
Yeah. He's gonna be fine.
I think he'll get like 5 to 8 carries, maybe like 5 carries a game or touches or so.
All right, so we got Logan Thomas. We're secure at tight end. We don't have to worry about drafting any third tight end.
We got a big advantage there then, at least.
Yeah, and at this point, we lost Trey Lance, so Tua would be the next guy on my list, and that means that we can wait a little bit on that. I don't see any of these. Oh, Paris Campbell's still around. If we can grab Paris Campbell, then I'll consider Wentz, and just Wentz and maybe Hines if Hines is available still.
How many more rounds do we have?
We are in round 10, and it's an 18-round draft, so we're more than halfway through here.
So what are you looking to stock up on for the final? Here, what do we got? 7 rounds now? 6-7 rounds?
Let's see. I got 2 running backs. I need one more quarterback. We're good on tight end, and I want to grab probably 2 or 3 more running backs, and the rest would be receivers.
Okay.
So
a couple of potential backups and stuff that could be number ones if their guys go down.
Yeah. Latavius Murray for sure. I'll put him above Tua in priority. And at this point,
I think we have a pretty good advantage. We definitely have an advantage at tight end, and our receivers are pretty stacked. And we have big upside on that quarterback spot. Our running backs are just a little thin.
Yeah, running backs are thin for sure. We did get Melvin Gordon's still available too. He's falling pretty far.
I seen some article out Monday, I think, saying Gordon's fell like 20, 30 spots.
Yeah.
In the last week or so.
I'm not used to seeing him. Did he he just got snagged up?
Yep, he just went.
And there goes Rager, of course.
There goes Rager. Right before us.
I'm just gonna grab Murray.
Yeah.
Who do you prefer between Murray and Henderson? I like Murray.
I like Murray as well too. I think he's got more upside.
Yeah.
Henderson, he started a few games. I just really didn't see much out of him when he had the workload.
Okay, so we got quarterback. Be looking at next. Trevor Lawrence. Jesus, Trevor Lawrence is still on the board. What pick did we just get? Murray at 124. Yeah, so this is still ADP.
Oh, there he went.
Anything in particular you didn't like about D'Angelo Henderson last year? I mean, you said you saw him and stuff, but Darrell Henderson, I should say. What do you not like about Darrell Henderson? I thought he had some decent games though.
I don't remember him having like that big of weeks. Like I remember he started a couple games. I played him on DraftKings as a value, and I just remember him busting. I think. I'm gonna see what it is.
Anytime he had double-digit carries, he scored a touchdown, and he scored 4 touchdowns in 4 games back then. And then he did start to wane off a little bit. I always like the younger back. If there's a 50-50 shot there between Henderson and Murray, and I think that there really is, I probably would go Henderson just because he's a younger guy, could step in with an injury and have a few big weeks with a big.
Yeah, he started 11 games last year. Had
after those first 4 or 5, it kind of got slow.
He averaged right around that low 4.5 yards per carry. He did have 5 touchdowns.
But there was 3 backs by that time. At the end of the year, if you remember. Akers, him, Brown, then there were some injuries.
I look for Cam Akers to really take a step forward this year. I like him.
Yeah, Cam Akers had a nice little breakout towards the end of last season. I'm not a huge fan of the drafting him where he's going right now just because of my wide receiver preference. But yeah, if all those wide receivers are off the board and there's no Eckler, then Cam Akers is definitely next on my draft list for that turn there. Have you drafted a lot of him, Snyder?
Akers, I just haven't been in the position to get him really.
Yeah. Much
this year. I mean, it's always would be too big of a reach, or he's just not there for me.
Yeah. Are you a fan of the Rams this year? Bobby's a pretty big fan of them.
I love them.
I kind of think McVay's kind of overrated personally, but
yeah. We are 4 picks away. Holden, what do you think?
About the Rams?
Yeah.
I love the Rams. Because now he finally gets a quarterback that can throw the ball downfield a little bit, better decision maker. He's not as scared to make a mistake, is what I'd say about Stafford. He's been stuck in Detroit this whole time, man. He finally has a terrific wide receiver crew. He's got an A+ running back.
Stafford's tough as hell too.
Tight end. It'd be nice if they use the tight end. If they continue to use the tight end too.
So we had Tua taken from us.
Oh.
So I'm going to go with Gabe Davis. I'm surprised he's still around.
Yeah.
And I'm going to look at Fitzpatrick to go with Logan Thomas for a next pick, I guess. Because I don't.
Gabe Davis could see a lot more workload too if there's some a scuffle going on with Beasley, isn't there? They're not sure if Beasley is even going to be on the team.
Beasley, he had some anti-vaxxer stuff going on.
Yeah,
but that his ADP is collapsed. So
you said that so casually.
if his ADP continues to go down, then I'm I've been scooping him up. I'm hoping he doesn't get any too much backlash from the team on it, but you never know what's going to happen in sensitive.
I've heard that they're open to trading him.
Trading him? I would not.
It seemed like Pittsburgh Steelers were even interested in him.
Yeah, I would not, be going for him if he got traded, especially the Steelers. I think he's value is at its peak right now with Buffalo, just because they've been using him well. So if he went somewhere else, it would just tank his value.
Yeah, he's got those sure hands. He's not afraid to go over the middle and catch the ball.
Yeah, so if you've been drafting a lot of Beasley, the worst thing that can happen is him getting dropped from the team. But I don't think that the Bills would do that. I think the Bills like him. I think the players like him, no matter what he's been saying.
Are we looking at Fitzpatrick here then, or is Paris Campbell still on the board? Did he get taken?
Paris Campbell is gone, so Fitzpatrick is the dude that I'm looking for now. He doesn't conflict with our bye week with Hurts, and he basically fits the stack the best. If we wanted to go Jets, we don't have any Jets players left. Oh, but I got Diami Brown, who I like stacking with Fitz. So we can grab Fitz here.
And Fitz is going to have a couple games this year where he's throwing 450 and like 5.
Yeah. Oops. Fitz. I hate drafting on the desktop, by the way. I don't know if you've tried it before, Snyder, but it's awful.
I usually just go off my phone, yeah.
Yeah. So we're looking at... I'm going to throw Madison in our queue. Brian Edwards I like. And obviously we want Brown later on in this draft. He is ADP 172.
Do you have any conviction on J.D. McKissick?
Not a ton. I really like Antonio Gibson.
Yeah. So
I think McKissick benefited from Alex Smith last year, just checking down all the time. And we don't... Fitz, I can't really think of him as a check down. Holden, you know anything?
For Fitz?
Yeah, like, is Fitz traditionally throw to your running back type of quarterback? Or because we do have McKissick available.
McKissick was a big part of that offense last year.
Yeah.
When he was healthy. And he could finally get in there. But they used him... they used him as... PPR RB1s.
Yeah, that was like James White.
Right? I thought he was better than he was.
Yeah.
JD McKissick, when he was healthy, finished a RB1. God, I'm gonna go at least 6 weeks last year. Let's see.
Yeah, he was huge down the stretch of the season. Like he'd just catch like 8 to 10 balls a game.
The coaching staff just seemed to love him. Let me go look that. I like McKissick, by the way, but again.
Yeah, McKissick is in my queue. I'll put him in the queue. I'm at, I don't even know where I'm at.
And you kind of need something to happen to Gordon, too. For him to get too much more work.
Ingram just went off the board at pick 155. So we're 8 picks away, so we'd be drafting around 163. And ADP wise, that's right around McKissick. So that's where we would want to draft him in this next pick. Madison's off the board. That makes it easier. I don't mind taking a little bit Devin Singletary if McKissick's off. By the time he gets back to us,
dude, McKissick was a beast last year.
Yeah.
Nine catches, 14 targets, 7 of 15, 10 of 10, 9 of 10, 8 of 10, 5 of 8. He scored touchdowns in back-to-back weeks through the air in weeks 14 and 15. And then, he still ran, too. He ran for a bunch of yards last season. So this is a guy that has RB1 upside on a weekly basis. But again, the question is how much is he going to get used in the passing game? Because that's where he does his damage. Like if they're down a ton, then
I like that. And if Gibson goes down again, I think McKissick's he's got that
Correct.
big upside.
Correct.
And our running backs are a little thin right now, so that's pretty big upside for us.
He could, in the right script, he could get a dozen carries and 10 targets in the same game.
And we're set up so that our next pick, we can draft Brown without it being a reach. So let's see if he makes it to us. That kind of makes me regret going AJ Brown over McLaurin when we had that McLaurin opportunity. True. But I kind of been. I have a ton of McLaurin. I just wanted to go Brown there and go for that.
That's a coin flip
stack.
there.
Yeah, exactly. You don't know how this thing is going to play out.
I mean, Julio could have fell to us, and we could have been right there.
Yep. Yeah, usually you can tell if your strategy is going to work or not after the first couple rounds. But then, once it fails, you just got to abort and you got to go to a different one. You just got to pick it right up and try to figure out what your next step is. It's been
really tough to gauge on this $5 puppy one or whatever because you see lots of different things go on here.
Well, you were talking earlier about how it's been easier for you to draft against the $5. I think it's been harder. I feel like when I'm drafting in the 5, I'm getting sniped left and right. But in DraftKings, I've noticed too, a lot of the industry guys are trying to fill up their 150 on the puppy right now. So if you go into DraftKings in the $20 contest, you can get a lot of easier drafts in there. You can get the players that you want pretty easily there because it's all the industry guys are filling up their 150 in the puppy right now. All right, so
what's it at? Is it up to 80% full already?
It's close, yeah. It's filling up quick, and they're going to put out another one right after too.
This one filled in 2 weeks.
Yeah, yep. Not even. I think it feels like it just came out.
Yeah, maybe it's just a week and a half. Yeah, a week ago.
Diami Brown is still on there. It's 2 picks or 1 pick away now. And I think that's our biggest upside. Yeah, we just picked him up. So we got 4 running backs. I'm going to hammer wide receiver for the next couple rounds. We're in round 15. So we got 16, 17, 18. We got 3 more picks. Let's try to hammer those wide receivers, see if we can get some good upside guys. I like KJ Hamler. What are you thinking about him? Yeah. Holden, let me read these names and see if any of them hold anything for you. AJ Green, Denzel Mims, Darius Slayton, Josh Palmer. I like Josh Palmer. I think he's going to be
go with Palmer.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
I think he's going to be the third starter on the Chargers.
I mean, AJ Green theoretically could everything would have to fall perfectly, but he could get back in the top 10 conversation.
He did see 114 targets last year with Burrow.
He just wasn't on the same page with Burrow.
No, yeah.
Yeah. And AJ Green, he could be one of those receivers that everyone thinks is dust, and he goes to a new team, and then he just explodes,
So he's a guy that I'd have no problem grabbing later.
Yeah.
AJ Green.
When I have Kyler teams and he falls to me in these later rounds, I scoop him up usually. Christian Kirk is going really late this year too. He used to be a 6th, 7th round pick, and now he's going closer to probably the 14th round or something. Van Jefferson's another guy that I like. Deshaun Jackson. Did we get Rager or did somebody else snatch him from us? We did not. I don't mind Fulgham, because I think he's going to be the wide receiver 3 on that team. What do you guys have on a take on that?
I haven't really looked into him too much yet.
Yeah. He had that stretch of games last year where he was just the top wide receiver in fantasy, but
Yeah.
it only lasted a few games, and then he
What do you think
got like
about
nothing.
what do you think about Denzel Mims? I've heard a lot of different things about him. Like
Yeah.
this regime didn't draft him, and I'm not sure.
Yeah, I was drafting him heavily before all the bad news started coming out
Yeah.
in camp. And then I was like, fuck, I got too much Denzel Mims.
I agree.
Yeah, especially when that more news started coming out, like how jacked he was and how he was doing like really well. But I mean, again, like they're playing OTAs in no pads, so you can't read too much into it. Like Mims, he has a good athletic background. He did well last year as a rookie, and you can't really read too much into the new regime stuff, because you'll just shoot yourself in the foot if
He had some big games in Baylor, though, I know.
Yeah. All right, so we're looking at Josh Palmer, Deshaun Jackson, Travis Fulgham. I wouldn't mind going Jackson then Palmer.
Deshaun Jackson?
Yeah, because
What are you
we're going to
doing?
get 2 spike weeks out
Yeah,
of him.
What are you doing?
You know he's going to have at least 2 games where he catches 2
You're gonna
touchdowns.
have one game this year, and then his ham's gonna blow up. You're
All right,
drafting a guy that's gonna get you one game.
All right,
Two
we just went with Palmer.
I like Palmer. Yeah, if
we went with Palmer.
anyone
but now,
that's starting with Herbert
Yeah.
throwing the ball, I like.
I'm done with rookies. I got 3 rookie receivers on my team. I don't like having too many. We got 2 more rounds to go. We're 5 picks away from pick 17. Let's see. Jerick McKinnon and Ty Johnson are the running backs that I would consider here.
I agree with that, yeah. I like Ty Johnson. You were talking about him earlier.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no guarantee that Carter's going to be the starter. And right now, from what I understand, Johnson's been impressing in camp. And we all know Tevin Campbell, what to expect with him. Like,
Yeah.
he's another guy that, always gets hyped up, and he always ends up as a bust. And I think finally, the hype, there's no hype on him this year. But when the Jets brought him in, it's obviously his old coaching staff bringing him with them,
Yeah.
which is a little bit of a threat to Ty Johnson, but you got to just kind of trust that Ty Johnson's going to outperform Campbell in camp. And that Carter, they don't have a lot of draft equity. I think he got taken in the 6th round. So that guy going in the top 10 rounds seems a bit of a trap to me, versus Ty Johnson, who has a year of experience, and he impressed last year, and he's been making a good impression in camp. So that makes me think that he has a good shot of winning that starting role, or at least winning a significant part of that offense. And it's an ambiguous background, so we don't know what's going to shake out over there. So if we go with Johnson and things work out our way, he could be one of those guys that goes from a 17th round ADP up to like an 8th or 9th.
Yeah. Well, I think like Coleman, what best case scenario he gets, maybe 12 to 15 touches a game anyway.
Yeah. All right, so we got 5 running backs. I don't mind doing that since we went pretty thin at it. Our first one was Miles Sanders, and then our best one after that is James Robinson. So I don't mind taking that extra insurance with the 5th one.
Things can happen where both guys just blow up. At least there's a path to that.
Yeah, no, there's definitely a path.
There's a path.
Let's see.
We've got a
I
big
don't mind.
advantage at
I don't
tight
mind
end,
taking stabs on Donovan Peoples-Jones either. He had a couple like monster games with the Browns last year.
He had some big catches, some big plays.
Yep, Keelan Cole. He's a guy that's been getting a lot of buzz. I think the regime of the Jets currently wanted Keelan Cole on the team, and they could never get him from Jacksonville. This is the narrative that I've heard. And Jacksonville, they weren't using him. and the Jets really wanted him, and they got him, and he's been impressing in camp. So I don't think it's going to be a hard sell for him to get a significant role in that offense. But Peoples-Jones thinks the younger guy with the upside.
We got Adam Humphries there too. I mean,
oh yeah, go with their Washington stack.
Just another guy to throw in there.
Yeah. I'm looking more for upside here. If this was a DraftKings and we had the PPR aspect, I'd be more into Humphries. But I think, what are we looking at? Best case for him, a slot receiver?
Yeah, I mean, he probably wouldn't hit the optimal. Very, very rare. I mean, Peoples-Jones could have that game where he catches 3 balls for 120 and a touchdown.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm not really seeing anyone else very interesting. If I had Trey Lance, I would take a stab on Jalen Hurd. If I was in this situation where there was no one. Oh, Deontay Harris is an interesting one.
He's
for
a
the
big
Saints.
play guy.
Yeah, I will move him up under Peoples-Jones. I think Fulgham. I'm not. I don't need to go that much of a stretch at receiver. I think there's more upside with Peoples-Jones and Deontay Harris. Who do you guys prefer out of those two?
Deontay Harris.
If it's Jameis, Deontay Harris. Okay. If Jameis is slinging the ball,
sold. And that's our team. So let's see. Just to recap on that, Jalen Hurts and Ryan Fitzpatrick are our quarterbacks. We got Jalen Hurts paired with Miles Sanders and Devonta Smith as our stack. We got Fitzpatrick paired with J.D. McKissick, Diami Brown, and Logan Thomas as a stack. That's a nice little stack there. We got a lot of security at tight end with Kelsey and Thomas. Our quarterback situation is decent with Hurts upside, and then Fitzpatrick upside, obviously. We don't need Fitzpatrick upside on the season in general. We just need him to go off like 3 or 4 weeks in the season and boom, right? And then hopefully on the bye week of Hurts. We got running backs, Miles Sanders. James Robinson has some upside. We got him. He's been falling. He fell to 93 pick, which is his ADP, so we didn't really get a value there. I just lost my team.
Oh, damn.
Fuckers. Best ball season. Let's see. Hang on a sec here. This was the puppy. Let's look at my team. All right, here we go. James Robinson. Like we were saying, we got him in at ADP, but his ADP has been falling, so he's a value at his current ADP. Latavius Murray, I like grabbing as much of him as I can. We probably took him a little bit early. We took him at 124. His ADP is 134. I don't like reaching for guys like that. J.D. McKissick, we got him around ADP. Ty Johnson, we reached on him, but I don't mind reaching that late in the draft. Justin Jefferson for our wide receivers. We're pretty strong at wide receiver. Justin Jefferson, A.J. Brown, T. Higgins, Devonta Smith, Devontae Parker, Gabriel Davis, Diami Brown, Josh Palmer, and Deontay Harris. So we got a lot of upside there. Bye weeks aren't too bad there either. And then tight end, like we said, Kelsey and Logan Thomas. And that's it.
All right, boys.
Yeah, it was fun.
Nice work, sir. What would you give your draft, Simon?
Probably a B, like somewhere in there.
A B. We'll take that, man.
Yeah, I'll give that a B. Like I wasn't like, it's not one of my favorite directions to go with those stacks necessarily. But I don't hate it either. You know, we'll see how it goes with it.
When's the next show?
Probably next week. We'll probably get one under our belt next week.
Terrific.
And Snyder wrote an article, by the way, on stacking that you can find in the NFL section of the Run Pure Sports homepage. So if you go to runpuresports.com, click on NFL. What is it, under articles or media?
Yep.
I think articles, NFL articles. Yeah.
Yeah. So we got Snyder's article there, and then we have a few other articles that we've written this season.
All right. Thanks to Bobby Gomes and Schneider. I'm Holden. Simon, get us out of here.